Hi, welcome to Sean's Good Time Sports Podcast here in Inglewood, Florida, poolside. So today on my podcast, I'll be having my returning guest, Gabe Saunders, on the podcast to give our NFL Week 13 predictions. But first, I'll be giving a recap of my NFL Week 12 predictions. So my NFL Week 12 predictions, a recap. Thursday Thanksgiving games, I had the Texans beating the Lions and covering 1.5. I got that one right. Then I had the Cowboys beating the Washington football team and covering -3. I got that one wrong. And this game got postponed, but it was originally a Thanksgiving game. I had the Ravens beating the Steelers and covering -10.5. I got that one right. So on to the Sunday 1 o'clock games. I had the Browns beating the Jaguars and covering -6.5. I got that one wrong. Then I had the Cardinals beating the Patriots and covering -2.5. I got that one wrong. Then I had the Bills beating the Chargers and covering -7. Oh, no, I had the Bills beating the Chargers and covering -5. I got that one right. Then I had the Dolphins beating the Jets and covering -7. I got that one right. Then I had the Giants beating the Bengals and covering -5. I got that one wrong. Then I had the Panthers beating the Vikings and covering +6. I got that one right. Then I had the Raiders beating the Falcons and covering -3. I got that one wrong. Then I had the Colts beating the Titans and covering -3. I got that one wrong. So on to the Sunday 4 o'clock games. I had the Rams beating the 49ers, covering -7. I got that one wrong. Credit to the 49ers for covering with all the people they had hurt and COVID people they had. It was awesome that they got that win. Then I had the Saints beating the Broncos and covering -5. I think that game was a give me. And I had the Broncos covering against the Chiefs, -5.5. I got that one right. Tom's usually owned Patrick Mahomes through his career, so that should be exciting. Then the Sunday night 8:20 p.m. game, I had the Packers beating the Bears, with the Bears covering +10. I got that one wrong. Then for the Monday night 8:15 p.m. game, I had the Seahawks beating the Eagles and covering -5. I got that one right. So my record for my NFL Week 12 predictions, I was 8-8. It's not great, but it's not bad. I usually have a winning record, so it was a tie. So I'll take it at the end of the day. All right, so on to my NFL Week 13 predictions. Start off with the Sunday 1 o'clock games. I had the Dolphins beating the Bengals and covering -11.5. Then I got the Titans beating the Browns and covering -6. I think Tennessee's a legit team now. I think they've proven me that they are definitely a top 5 team in the NFL. Then I got the Colts beating the Texans and covering -3.5. I like the Colts a lot. Texans got Deshaun Watson though, but I like the Colts covering that. Then I got the Vikings beating the Jaguars, but the Jaguars covering +11.5. The Jaguars are showing that they are good at covering the spread, so I trust the Jaguars covering against the Vikings. And I got the Lions beating the Bears and covering +3.5. Lions are getting points. I'm hearing they might have Galladay back. We're not sure though, but I like the Lions offense a lot. Then I have the Raiders beating the Jets and covering -8. The Jets are one of the worst teams in football. The Raiders had a bad week last week. I think they'll have a bounce back week. I like that one a lot. Then I have the Falcons beating the Saints and covering +3. I think the Saints are good, but they have a quarterback in Taysom Hill that hasn't thrown a touchdown since his college days, and we know the Falcons can put up points. They looked great against the Raiders last week, so I like that. So on to the Sunday 4 o'clock games. I got the Seahawks beating the Giants, but the Giants covering +10. The Seahawks are not that great at covering the spreads, and the Giants are the best team in the NFL covering the spreads. They covered every spread this year besides one game, and that was last week, but they were favorite, but this time they're not favorite. Then I got the Cardinals beating the Rams and covering +3. Cardinals got one of the best offenses in football. They're getting points. I like that game a lot. And I got the Packers beating the Eagles and covering -8. It's Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay offense against the Eagles. And the Eagles aren't that great. They're missing players. They're not playing great. The offensive line is awful for the Eagles. I don't know if Wentz is coming up protection, so I like the Packers in that one. Then I got the Patriots beating the Chargers covering +2.5. It's not much to talk about. I mean, I love the Patriots in this one. They're getting points. The Chargers can't finish games, and the Patriots have Bill Belichick, so I like the Patriots a lot in that one. On to the Sunday night 8:20 p.m. games. I got the Chiefs beating the Broncos and covering -14. The Broncos don't have any quarterbacks, and it's Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to put up points, so I like them a lot in that one. On the Monday night 8:15 p.m. game, I got the Bills beating the 49ers and covering -1. It's all a 1-point spread, and the Bills' offense is playing good. The defense is playing good, and I said, the Niners they're missing a lot of guys. So on to the postponed games. These games were postponed because the situation with the COVID last week, and the games had to get changed up and everything. So that was the Ravens-Cowboys game and the Steelers and the Washington football team game. So let's get into the Ravens game. I got the Ravens beating the Cowboys and covering -6. I don't care if Lamar's playing. I'm hearing that Lamar might play, but I think Trace can get it done against the Cowboys. I think they can win by 7. I like the Ravens in that one. Then I got the Steelers beating the Washington football team and covering -10. Ravens Steelers is the best rivalry in football. I think Pittsburgh's pissed off after the performance they played against Baltimore, knowing that the Ravens almost beat them with their second and third string players. I think the Steelers come out firing on all cylinders. So now my guest, Gabe Saunders, will be giving his NFL Week 13 predictions.
All right, so on to the 1 o'clock games. I have the Dolphins beating the Bengals and covering -11.5. After that, I had the Titans beating the Browns, but the Browns cover +6.5. I have the Colts beating the Texans and covering -3.5. I like that one. I have the Vikings beating the Jaguars and covering -11.5. The Jaguars, they have one of their best receivers, D.D. Westbrook out. I think that's his name, sorry if it's not, but yeah. Next up, I have the Lions beating the Bears and covering +3.5. Mitch Trubisky, do I have to say more? Next up, we have the Raiders beating the Jets and covering -8. He was talking about how the Jets are one of the worst teams in football. They haven't won a single game this season. That's saying a lot right there in itself. Next up, I have the Falcons beating the Saints and covering +3. I mean, wow, talk about an upset last week. The Falcons just destroyed the Raiders. Yeah, like them a lot. Next up to the 4 o'clock games, I have the Seahawks beating the Giants and covering -10.5. I'm very confident in that one. Next up, I have the Cardinals beating the Rams and covering +3. Jared Goff, he's playing an awful game, and he averages like 10 points in fantasy, which is pretty awful. He had like 3 points last week. It was awful, man. Next up, we have the Packers beating the Eagles and covering -8. I mean, Eagles, when you talk about, quarterback situation, Carson Wentz has thrown, 18 interceptions on the year, pretty bad. He's like number 3 in turnovers in the NFL. So next up, I have the Patriots beating the Chargers and covering +2.5. I'm confident in that one. And on to the Sunday night 8:20 p.m. games. I have the Chiefs beating the Broncos and covering -14. Like he said, Broncos have no quarterbacks. I mean, they have a receiver playing a quarterback. I'm pretty sure that's, On to the Monday night games, I have the Bills beating the 49ers and covering -1. And on to the postponed games, I have the Ravens beating the Cowboys and covering -6. Trace McSorley played an amazing game. Although he was only in for the last 5 minutes, he almost beat him. I think if they started him, he could have beat him. He's going to play great against the Cowboys. Last, we have the Washington football team. I have them beating the Steelers in this one and covering +10. People probably won't agree with that, but I'm pretty confident.
All right, so on the Sean's top 5 hot picks, game number 1, I got the Titans beating the Browns and covering -6. Like I said, I like the Titans a lot. They got one of the best teams in football, in my opinion. I think they're a top 5 team. They're playing great. They can beat the Browns handily. They can prove to me that they can be a contender for the Super Bowl. Then I got the Raiders beating the Jets and covering -8. I mean, there's not really much to talk about. The Jets are the worst team in football, and the Raiders are due for a bounce-back win. Then I love the Falcons beating the Saints and covering +3. Like I said, Taysom Hill hasn't thrown a touchdown since college. That's not good. It's horrible. And the Falcons can put up points. So I love that game a lot. Then I got the Cardinals beating the Rams and covering +3. Cardinals with that offense getting points. I love that game every day of the week. Then the last one, the Bills beating the 49ers covering -1. I love that game. So if you're betting, lock those picks in. So now on to my NFL Week 13 power rankings. For number 1, we're switching it up this week. I got the Kansas City Chiefs coming at number 1 after what the Ravens almost did to Pittsburgh with their second and third string players in. I can't oversee that. Pittsburgh needs to prove to me it kind of just went out and dominate teams to get back in that first spot. But for now, I got the Kansas City Chiefs locked in at 1. Number 2, no surprise at all, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're undefeated. They're undefeated for a reason, but they might be the worst undefeated team of all time. But yeah, you got to put Pittsburgh at 2. Number 3, I got the New Orleans Saints. I think it's really incredible that the Saints have won 2 games in a row without their star quarterback Drew Brees, future Hall of Famer, and Kamara and Michael Thomas. You know, not having the quarterback that they want and they still find a way to win games is pretty remarkable. Number 4, everyone's going to think this is a little bit surprising. I got the Tennessee Titans at 4. After a couple games of watching Tennessee, yeah, I was hard on them, but they proved me that they are a top team, and if they can, like I said before, they can beat the Browns handily, they can move up my power rankings, definitely. At number 5, I got the Green Bay Packers. Really not much to say. Aaron Rodgers in that offense. I want to see the Packers defense play a little bit better. But for right now, they're at number 5. And then at number 6, honorable mention, I got the Seattle Seahawks. I don't trust the defense at all, but when you have Russell Wilson, arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, they're going to be up there. They just added Josh Gordon to a receiving core that has DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. They got weapons all over the field, and they're a really hard team to beat. But that was it for my podcast today. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in.